Ryan Clark saying that Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning are not, quote-unquote, generational talents. What the are you thinking? What did you just say? What good does it do you to be a generational talent if you can't translate it into generational performance? I think we need to start exploring what exactly a generational talent is and what a generational talent isn't. This is the Ricky Cobb Show, presented by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss out on any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. And we are heading right into the weekend, my friends. And let's attack this weekend like Kenny Stabler in a goddamn speedboat. It's about that time of the day, isn't it? Can we just say that the weekend has officially begun with this program? It's Friday. Friday is the start of the weekend. You can just decide how early in Friday that you want to turn your motor off and idle into the night. Ken Stabler, however, going full throttle there. Back when men were men and quarterbacks were quarterbacks. We got a lot of good stuff for you today, folks. And let's start by talking more about quarterbacks, shall we? Ryan Clark on ESPN's First Take having a conversation with Stephen A. Smith and Dan Orlovsky, talking about quarterbacks who are quote-unquote generational talents. And rather than me describe to you how this went off the rails, why don't we just take a listen to Ryan Clark?
A few of them. I think there's less than what you think. I think John Elway was a generational talent. I think Patrick Mahomes is a generational talent. I don't think Tom Brady, I don't think Drew Brees, I don't think Peyton Manning are generational talents. I think Andrew Luck ended up being a generational talent. I don't think there's a ton of them out there.
But so then what? Then how does one, in your eyes, be a generational talent? Because there's not a lot of difference.
Production. Let me chime in here, because I love the argument back and forth between y'all. I ain't trying to get in the way of it. But here's the reality. The operative word here is, do you believe Arch Manning is a generational talent? He could be, but he's not.
Why not?
Not yet. What have you seen to say that he is?
There's no evidence.
There's no evidence.
I was waiting for Stephen A. to interject and say, what the fuck are you thinking? What did you just say? Because I felt like the needle went across the record there in the middle of Ryan Clark's little speech, and Stephen A. and Orlovsky, neither one of them called him on it. Maybe that's what happens when you spend so much of your time giving hot takes on ESPN. You just become immune to the stupid things that you say, and you become immune to the stupid things that the people around you say. I know it's hard creating content. I've done it every day for over 10 years on Super 70s, and I do it 5 days a week on this program. It's not easy filling a 90-minute time slot 5 days a week. And I can almost hear producer Tim giving me an amen in my ear right now. It's really hard to do what ESPN does, where you got to have something to talk about, something to get people excited about, some hot take, in order to get people to tune in. And so here we are. Ryan Clark saying that Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning are not, quote unquote, get your air quotes out, generational talents. However, he says John Elway is, Patrick Mahomes is, and Andrew Luck, curiously, he says, is also a generational talent. I think we need to start exploring what exactly a generational talent is and what a generational talent isn't. As near as I can figure, where Ryan Clark is going here is he's suggesting that the measurables, right? The speed, the arm strength, your size, all of that kind of stuff, Brady and Brees and Peyton Manning don't have it like Elway, Mahomes, Andrew Luck. But what makes a transitional a transcendent generational quarterback? It's the performance on the field, isn't it? At the end of the day, we've talked about Anthony Richardson on this program a lot. That guy's arm is a cannon. He should have to register his arm with the government. But he can't fucking do shit with it. As Sean Salisbury said on this program, he could throw the ball through a car wash and it won't get wet, but he might miss the car wash. So how good is that going to do you? A part of generational talent is having a generational mind, my friends. In almost any walk of life, and in particular at the quarterback position, which demands so much of you intellectually as well as physically. You can see here's your all-time yardage leaders in the history of the NFL, and it just so happens that the three non-generational talents, according to Ryan Clark, are 1, 2, 3 on the all-time list. How did they get there if they didn't have generational talent, Ryan? Because I'm going to ask you, who does? Who does? Look at touchdowns, by the way. Same three guys. Top 3 in yards, top 3 in touchdowns. I know that they all played in the heart of the passing era that we're in now. Maybe Fran Tarkenton would have been up there if the game had been different in his day. Maybe Johnny Unitas would have been up there. But still, the facts are the facts. The 3 most prolific yards and touchdown guys in the history of the National Football League, Ryan Clark doesn't think any of them are generational talents. You're measuring the wrong things if you think that they are not. Because it's not just how big you are. It's not how fast you run. It's not how strong your arm is. All of those things are great assets. But what is the head that is screwed upon your shoulders like? How fast do you process information? What kind of a leader are you? How quickly can you go through your progressions? I don't know, generational talents. He talks about Andrew Luck. Sam Bradford. Remember when Sam Bradford was a generational talent? Hey, Ryan, your buddy, RG3. You guys are just like this. I know. You're not a huge fan of his family, apparently. I remember when people said that RG3 was a generational quarterback. Jamarcus Russell was supposed to be a generational quarterback. Vince Young was supposed to be a generational quarterback. Some people thought that Ryan Leaf had generational talent. How did that work out? What good does it do you to be a generational talent if you can't translate it into generational performance? It makes you a cautionary tale, much like you are a cautionary tale, Ryan Clark, of people who go on television and are tasked with the job of talking about whatever it is that's going on in the world. And so you elect to talk about what's going on in the sports world in an over-the-top way that is not consistent with the reality of the world that I live in. Generational talent. Was this guy a generational talent? By the way, let's take a look at Terry Bradshaw here. Give me Terry Bradshaw. It's the Friday episode of this program, my friends. We're celebrating Friday, and what better Friday is there than the Friday before the first full slate of NFL games, Sunday week 1. That's the best Friday that there is of the year, some people might say. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowl rings, despite not being a generational talent, apparently. Terry Bradshaw has 4, and he dressed like he was in a Captain and Tennille cover band down at the Ramada Inn on Friday nights. Advantage Brady, but I had to think about it. Because that's a pretty sweet hat. And love will keep us together, and Terry Bradshaw knew that. I want you to take a look at the type of shape that Terry Bradshaw was in during his career, folks. This is one of my favorite Super 70s evergreen tweets. Terry Bradshaw for Spalding sneakers. Running through the woods with his fucking dog. And as I tweeted here, Tom Brady followed the strictest year-round diet and exercise regimen to win 7 Super Bowl rings. Terry Bradshaw ran through the woods with his dog in a pair of Walmart sneakers once a year to burn off some of his beer calories, declared himself ready, and won 4 Super Bowls. I am giving the advantage to Terry Bradshaw there, in fact. Was he a generational talent, Ryan? I don't know. Was he? Dak Prescott, some people think Dak Prescott has that kind of ability. Jalen Carter presumably is not one of them. If you watched the season opener last night, you were taken by surprise as we all were with the incident between the Cowboys quarterback and the Eagles' extremely talented defensive lineman, because Jalen Carter spat on Dak Prescott before the game and was summarily ejected from the contest. The Eagles going on to win, but certainly it didn't do them any favors to lose their defensive anchor before the game started in a situation that, frankly, I don't have anything to compare it to. I can't remember something like this ever happening before, and probably neither could Chris Collinsworth, who, of course, was in the booth for the action on NBC last night. Chris Collinsworth, who I'm old enough to remember as the authority on authentic Mexican taco fillings. Let's take a look.
You see, JTM slowly kettle cooks with the finest meats and just the right seasonings. Then they quick freeze it so you can just heat and eat. Great for
You think this commercial would get made today?
Buenos tacos, amigos.
Look at that. If Collinsworth brings back the sombrero and the mustache, I feel like the ratings for NBC night games would go up at least 50%, as far as I'm concerned. We've got football tonight, by the way, folks. Friday night football in the NFL hits a little bit different. We're not used to that. We're also not really used to games being played in places like Brazil either. But when I was a kid, I was no stranger to Friday night broadcasting excellence. I can fucking tell you that. Look at this lineup from CBS back in the day. Incredible Hulk, right into some Dukes of Hazzard, into Dallas. That's a triple header right there, my friends. There's no doubt about it. And with that being said, well, let's take a look. Yeah, all right, let's take a look at this here. Travis Kelce in Brazil. A lot of people, you may have noticed, Patrick Mahomes is a generational talent. I know this because Ryan Clark told me so. But Patrick Mahomes has a generational voice too. And it sounds a lot like, hi-ho, this is Kermit the Frog. Travis Kelce having a little bit of fun with Patrick Mahomes. Here's his best Frank Caliendo for you.
We've had a plan for this all summer long, and now we're just ready to play football again.
And Travis, what was last night like at the airport?
Oh man, it was crazy. It was a lot of fun seeing all the fans there. And he had that one coming for telling everybody I didn't know where Brazil was on the map. It's
all right. A lot of NFL here, some of it absurd today, what we've been talking about, and who better to help us sort out all NFL issues than OutKick's senior NFL writer. I speak, of course, of our friend, the great Armando Salguero. Armando, the NFL season is underway. We're underway, my friend. I'm telling you. It's Friday. I just want to go into the weekend feeling like I left it all on the field. I don't know where we should begin. Let's begin with Ryan Clark, and then we'll get into the SPITGATE or whatever we're going to call it that happened last night in Philly. Ryan Clark saying that Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees are not, in his assessment, generational talents. However, he would give that title to John Elway, Patrick Mahomes, Andrew Luck. And a few weeks ago, he even used the term in association with Jackson Dart. What's Ryan smoking, Armando, and where can we get some?
Well, clearly, he has limited generational talent to physical talent, okay? I would say to you that no one was more obsessive, was more prepared, was more thorough ever than Peyton Manning. He was the most A to Z, cross every T, dot every I quarterback who ever played in the NFL. He was generationally set apart from everyone else in the league who played any position in that regard. And that is why he was so good. It wasn't that he had a great arm. In fact, at the end of his career, he had a terrible arm. It wasn't because he was, mobile, because he wasn't mobile. It wasn't because he was stronger than everyone else. It was because he was more prepared than everyone else. And he used that preparation and that knowledge of everything that was going on to make himself and his team a winner. In fact, I can say to you that the only way that people got Peyton Manning off his game was making him think that they were more prepared than him. And I know this because Zach Thomas would tell me stories about how another guy who was obsessive about preparation, this time on defense, also a Hall of Famer, he would guess what the Colts were going to do. And when he was right, he would look across to the other huddle and frickin' Peyton Manning was losing his mind because he thought that Zach Thomas knew what was going on and what plays they were calling. And I asked Tony Dungy if this was true. And Tony Dungy said that Peyton Manning would come to the sideline and complain that Zach Thomas had the playbook and that he couldn't play because Zach Thomas has our playbook. So in that regard, he was a generational talent. Tom Brady, he was a generational talent in that he's an assassin, and there was no better assassin of his time. He once admitted that when he got teams down, he wanted to step on their neck and have their Adam's apple pop out. So that's what was inside of Tom Brady. Was it great ability to run? No, we all saw that 40-yard time. Was it a great ability to throw? No, I mean, he had a good arm, not a great arm, but he was a killer, and he still is, by the way. The guy would compete at everything, and it was that inner drive that was generational. In a league full of killers, he was John Wick, and so that is generational. Obviously, Ryan Clark thinks generational is single-faceted and only physical, and it's so much more than that because he, better than anyone, should know that NFL players, their heart, motivation, competitiveness, all that stuff matters. It's not always the most physically talented guy that succeeds.
Yeah, the great ones at any position, really, but especially the quarterback position, they're basically football geniuses, right? Guys with a single-minded focus on winning and beating you. Certainly in the case of Manning and Brady, and I would put Drew Brees in that basket too as well, Armando. Before we get to the goings-on of last night, let's talk about tonight in Brazil. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers from Sao Paulo, motherfucker. I mean, what says NFL any better than that? What are your thoughts on this one tonight? And the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, one regular season loss last year that sort of masked some of their problems that got exposed in the Super Bowl. What are you expecting from the Chiefs this year? And what are you expecting from Jim Harbaugh here in year 2 with the Chargers?
Well, first of all, I'm looking forward to you releasing your Samba video prior to kickoff so that gets us all in the mood for this Brazil Corinthian Stadium Samba fest of a game that we're about to see. So I'm eagerly awaiting that, Rick. Eagerly.
The world is not ready, Armando. The world is not ready for that.
Second of all, look, the Chiefs are pissed. They're just pissed. They don't appreciate not winning Super Bowls. They are used to winning Super Bowls. They believe it is their God-given gift that they win Super Bowls. And last year, they not only didn't win the Super Bowl, they got blown out in the Super Bowl, and they're pissed. And so what I would also tell you is they're probably more talented than they were last year, especially on the outside, and especially when Rashee Rice comes back off of suspension. Xavier Worthy was coming on at the end of his rookie season. He was the only one that basically showed up to the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, and that's why he had that electric touchdown. I would say that the Chiefs are going to take their frustrations out on people this year. The problem the Chiefs face is that everybody in the AFC West is also improved and also pissed. So, I mean, watch out for Denver. Be careful with Denver. They have a future Hall of Fame coach probably in Sean Payton. They had the highest sack front defensively last year. They led the NFL in sacks. They were third in points allowed. They're better on defense. And so they're going to hurt people. They're going to be good, very good. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs or the Bills or whoever else you want to put in there. And then, obviously you've got the Chargers. The Chargers, they excited people a few years ago, because Justin Herbert was beating Patrick Mahomes one-on-one. There was a game in 2021 where Justin Herbert threw 4 touchdown passes and made fun of Patrick Mahomes afterward. And then reality struck, and their coaching was terrible. And now Justin Herbert is 2-7 against the Chiefs lifetime. But Jim Harbaugh's also a pretty good coach. And so they made the playoffs last year in his first year. I would say that it's going to be a fun game. I wouldn't think that it's going to decide the AFC West, but I do know this. There will be no creepy weirdo lose his mind spitter in that game. That's for sure.
Well, let's go there, Armando. We've had a little less than 24 hours to process exactly what happened before kickoff last night in Philadelphia. You saw it, Armando. What is your take on this, and what can we expect the fallout to be for Jalen Carter?
Right. So, first of all, the NFL will ask the Eagles, will there be internal team-oriented, discipline? And there may or may not be. Last night after the game, there was no real, discussion about that. And even if there were, they wouldn't announce it last night. So the NFL will wait for that. There definitely will be a fine. But the question everybody wants to know is, will there be also a suspension of some sort, either from the team or from the league? And my guess is that the league is more than willing to suspend Jalen Carter, because they are coming into a season where they emphasize sportsmanship. They emphasized, let me put it to you this way. Troy Vincent, who is the vice president of football operations, sent out a video to all 32 teams telling them, these things you do not do. And there was like 15 examples of things that players did last year that the NFL doesn't want on its fields this year. And that includes everything from taunting to the celebrations and how they're conducted, and hits and horse collar tackles and all sorts of things. I don't think they included spitting. But I'm sure that if they had thought of it, because they would have included that, because it is the most vile, I would say, insulting thing that one man can do to another man, short of, other physical things. But it just boggles the mind that's where Jalen Carter went.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. So we'll see what happens. If they lose him for any number of games, it would be a blow, obviously, to the Eagles. Armando, appreciate you as always, my friend. Thank you for the wisdom and the laughs, and we will catch up with you again soon.
Looking forward to the Samba video, Rick. Let's go.
Yeah, something to look forward to there. And Armando will be at the Steelers-Jets game, covering it for OutKick as well. So I hope he has fun in the Meadowlands this weekend. And my friends, PrizePicks is fun and simple to play. I know that I am locked and loaded this week. And take a look at this special Week 1 discount that PrizePicks is offering. 99% off Lamar Jackson here is coming up. And this is a max discount play that will be coming up. Now, I got in on a nice little Dak Prescott discount. I should have taken more on the 0.5 times he'll be spit on proposition. But instead, I took more on 0.5 yards passing, and I checked that box. If Cameron Dicker comes up with 2 field goals or more tonight, I'm going to be a winner on PrizePicks this week. And PrizePicks, of course, it's the best way to win cash. I'm practically there. I think Cameron Dicker's got a couple in him tonight. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You can make your picks in 60 seconds or less and turn your takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. It's the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. And the best part is, download the app today and use code Ricky to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. It's as simple as that. $50 in lineups with code Ricky when you play your first $5 lineup. So, PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Turn your rightness into money. And have fun doing it, by the way. And it's Friday, which is a fun day anyway. Remember that terrible song? What was her name? Rebecca Black? Went viral overnight. Her parents paid a bunch of money so that she could have a music video made.
It's Friday.
Gotta get down on Friday. It's the day between Thursday and Saturday. It went something like that. All right, well, look, you hear it already. The man wants to join the program, obviously. So I now welcome the international streaming star who joins us from Nashville, Tennessee. He is, of course, Ronnie T-Shirts. And Ronnie, this is the Friday episode. What we're doing now, we're theming our episodes, Ron. We're just dipping a toe in that water this week. Next week, we'll come back with it even stronger. And today's theme is Friday. So just some of the tweets through the years from Super 70s that bring up a little bit of Friday mojo. And here's one that I know you're going to remember, Ron. It was my Days of the Week power rankings. We're just going to take a quick little callback to this because I had Friday firmly in the number 2 position among the 7 days of the week. You can see there, Saturday number 1, followed by Friday, followed by Sunday, followed by Thursday. I had Monday 5th. There's no Wednesday night football in the NFL. So Wednesday was 6th, Tuesday was 7th. Tuesday is a second Monday, but without football as far as I'm concerned. Ronnie, just real quickly, how do you feel about that list? Where did I go right? Where would you get out your red pen and make a correction here?
I mean, I can't really argue with this because Saturday is better than Friday because Friday, if you're like the majority of people, you have to work. So as soon as the work day is over, you're still going to be tired and you can't fully enjoy everything. Saturday, you get to sleep in. This is good, Ricky. Monday absolutely factors in because of football. Unless you're a big Maction fan, Tuesdays have nothing until November. Then they start showing OU against Bowling Green. So I really listen. I like to argue with you, but I don't have anything to argue on this one.
Look at that. How about that? I satisfied you.
Hey, and can I add something, Ricky? I did PrizePicks. I did PrizePicks. I put in code Ricky. I used the DAC and then I also did Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown. I won $40 last night, dude.
Look at that. Look at that. PrizePicks. You're already up 40. The weekend's not even here yet.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. You can do it too, my friends. All right, let's talk about relationships, Ron. As you well know, you have been my trusted sounding board and really my best friend on matters of the heart and relationships and romance and where my life was going. You have served me well in that capacity, my friend, and you know I'm grateful. But we got a situation here. Jared's buddy went on a date with a girl, and I think we're gonna have to bring Jared in here at a point. But this is the text that he got today. Was this date last night, Jared? When did this date occur?
Yeah, it was last night.
All right, so this is a last
night in the
night
city.
date. This was a Thursday night date in the city. And Jared, your boy was feeling pretty good about it, was he? What was his takeaway from this date?
He said he had a great time.
Okay. So, all right, so he was feeling good about it. He had a great time. And today, a little after noon, he gets this text, "Glad you made it home safe!" ! "I had a fun time last night, but I don't think we're compatible. Good luck with your new job and on your exam. Get the fuck out of my life forever, loser." No, she didn't. She only thought that. And he responded, God bless him. He responded, "I understand. Best of luck with everything. Good luck in your endeavors, miss. I hope that I would one day put my penis inside you, but that dream has now died as of 12:43 p.m. local time, and I must now move forward." Okay, so Jared, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jared, but you felt that this was not a nice text.
Right, because I said it was
is
nice.
this correct?
I said she handled it a nice way. And Jared
Ronnie
said
jumped
it wasn't
into the
nice.
group text and said that she handled it nice, and Jared was like, "I don't think it's so nice." So
why not, Jared?
I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jared, but what's the official take here from you and your buddy on this?
It's not that she didn't handle it nice. She handled it fine. It's just that I wouldn't have responded, and I would have just completely went my separate ways and not said anything. I give him props for responding. Better man than me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Would you prefer for the girl to ghost you? Would you prefer for the girl to say, "Hey, you are too fat for me. I don't like the quality of your voice." Like, isn't that the only way to handle it, is say, "Hey, I had a nice time meeting you, and we're not compatible, but good luck"? Or would you rather hear the truth, or would you rather get ghosted? Serious question.
No, you're right. You're right. 100%.
Thank you.
It's just weird because he said he had a great time. It seemed like this was going somewhere, and then he just kind of got hit with a bombshell like that, completely out of nowhere.
Jared, dude, Tyler and I are so super close, and so we talk about a lot of her dating things. And I will tell you, and you and I really haven't talked that much about your dating, but dating sounds like it's just miserable right now for people your age. And you know, she's got times where she's like, "Oh, I like that guy. We had a nice time," and then he ghosts her. And then she actually was on a date last night, which was so funny on the timing. And they had great conversation. But we talked to her when she got home last night, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not feeling it at all." And so she will, if the guy texts her today, she will send a text very similar to what that girl sent. And I just think it's the nicest, sweetest way to handle something that could be uncomfortable.
Jared, did she kiss him goodnight or anything?
Yes, she did.
Whoa, kiss like I'd kiss my grandma, or
tongue?
Kiss on the lips?
I didn't get that far in asking.
Lips? Okay. These are variables that are important to consider the appropriateness of what she said.
Everything was trending well and then it wasn't. Was my shock. That's
Jared,
it.
all I can do is reiterate what I said. Dude, I feel so bad for you guys. It just talking to Tyler and talking to some other people I know, it just sounds awful.
I've been through so many horrible things with women that, like, the bar is a little higher for me at this point. I'm like, this is nothing. This is fucking Saturday morning cartoons, baby.
That's a little rub on the head. Hey, champ.
Oh my God. I've had my heart torn out of my chest, gasoline poured on it, set on fire, shot with a machine gun. Let's go to some bad news here on this Friday for the Indiana Fever, as well as fans of good women's basketball everywhere. Everybody who has enjoyed the phenomenon that is Caitlin Clark. It's a sad Friday. It's a Black Friday, if you will, because Caitlin Clark will not return in 2025, and it is now official. I believe we have something here. Yes, let's take a look. Tweeted from Caitlin Clark herself. I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I'm feeling. I want to thank everyone who had my back through all the uncertainty. This has been an incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. The way fans continue to show up for me and for the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I'm so proud of how this team has only gotten stronger through the adversity this year. Now it's time to close out the season and claim our spot in the playoffs. Sophie Cunningham, take your clothes off and twerk for everybody. And Jared's friend got screwed over by that bitch. Those are the words of Caitlin Clark. I embellished that just a little bit. But I assume that she has takes on things. Caitlin Clark, you're not playing anymore. Come on this show one day. You can help us with this feature because it's Championship Friday right now, my friends. And that means that it's time for America's Bowl of the Day. And let's go do it now. It's Super 70 Sports on X where the Eagle flies high. It flies as high as a pass from the generational talent that is Jackson Dart. Ryan Clark said so, that he is. And here's what we've got, fellas. This is, of course, Labor Day week. So we only had 3 polls coming into Championship Friday. And so we needed a wild card. And since I am going to Las Vegas a little bit later this month, I decided that Las Vegas would be the wild card today. And probably a wild card that is not going to win, but will round out the field. Here's what we've got. On Tuesday, we found out that Ron has never heard of Nintendo Duck Hunt before this week, which was the most shocking revelation of the week on the Ricky Cobb Show. Secondly, we have Beverly Hills Cop, the Eddie Murphy huge hit back in the 1980s. He was and is Axel Foley. Third, we've got Dr. J, Julius Irving, and I hope I don't have to tell you anything about him. And lastly, Vegas, baby, Vegas. Ronnie, break it down for me as only you can.
So now that I do know what Nintendo Duck Hunt is, it will absolutely be last on my, it'll be last for me here. Beverly Hills
You waited
Cop.
all those years to find out about it just to be unimpressed with
it. Looks so stupid.
That might be my favorite part of the entire saga.
Beverly Hills Cop, as I've said, I mean, I don't know where I'm going to rank it in my 80s comedies, but it is absolutely up there. It's in the short list. Las Vegas, there was a time in my life, Ricky, where I might have put Las Vegas first. I was going to Las Vegas a lot. I was the friend that if you said, hey, do you want to go to Vegas? I'd say yes. And so I went to Las Vegas a ton in the kind of early 2000s. But if I got to go with Julius Irving. I mean, he one of my favorite basketball players of all time, one of the coolest dudes ever. He's got to be in mid 70s now, and he's still just insanely cool. I mean, the clothes he wore, he was funky and cool, and and did things on a basketball court that I'd never seen, let alone imagined. So for me, it's super easy that it's Julius Erving.
All right, well, let's bring in P.A. Jarrett here today. Producer Tim is on his way out today. He played half of a game today, and he's out. He's got a wedding situation going on, flights and all kinds of shit happening down there in Nashville, Tennessee. Ron, I don't know. You guys haven't hung out yet. What the fuck's going on?
I'm thinking about crashing the wedding tonight.
Okay,
you
good.
totally
Somebody needs to do that. Warren Moon's there.
Wait,
Tim
what?
keeps giving me these updates that
Wait,
Warren
what?
Moon is at this wedding. Yeah. So Tim is going to try to corner Warren Moon later, and
hopefully he's like 5 or 6 drinks deep, and he's like, "Hey, Warren, I'm a producer for this show called The Ricky Cobb Show, and it deals with a lot of like nostalgic aspects and elements, and I would really love if you would talk to Ricky. He likes Houston in favorite color."
Warren Moon just shoots him in the face with mace. Let's get the fuck out of here. Okay, Jared.
Is that a mattress behind you, Jared?
Yeah, I'm
Jared's
at my
coming
friend's
to us
house.
from like a fucking
From a
mattress.
youth
Okay,
hostel.
all right.
From a youth hostel.
This isn't the friend. This isn't the friend that got screwed over's place, is it? Is this a different?
No,
friend?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't bother him with that today. He's a
There's a mattress over your right shoulder. This is so good.
He's a Penn State friend. I wasn't prepared. I didn't. So I don't live as close to him as I do with some of the home friends. But yeah, there's a mattress here. There's a bunch of shit. So fun stuff.
Our T's and P's are with him nonetheless.
So
have at it, Jared. What do you think of this?
I earn points over Ron. I have heard of Duck Hunt before because I play Super Smash Bros. Sometimes. So he's a character in that. Beverly Hills Cop, never seen it. Sorry. So that'll move me down a couple points. Julius Erving's probably a top 15 or so basketball player of all time. And I'm a basketball guy, especially talking about the players from old to now, because I think a lot of the players now suck and are annoying. Vegas, I've never been to, but that is a city that is definitely on the list. As I get older, the degeneracy and the gambling has become more and more part of my life. And I think by 25 or 26 years old, I should be going to Vegas. So for the future, I'm sure that'll be my pick. But as of now, I'm going to go with Dr. J.
You need to watch Beverly Hills Cop, Jared.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah,
I haven't seen it. So, Ricky, what say you?
I would recommend that. All right, good analysis, Jared, as always. Duck Hunt was fun. You know, it wasn't my favorite game, but at the time, shooting stuff on your shitty 19-inch tube television seemed pretty futuristic. So that was kind of like the greatest gaming technology that I was aware of in the 1980s. There was something a little magical about it. It may be quaint now, but at the time it was like, oh, wow, holy shit, how is this happening? Beverly Hills Cop was great. I haven't seen it in a long time, but certainly enjoyed it. Dr. J is Dr. J. I don't even think I need to say much there. He's one of the most influential athletes of my childhood. And then Vegas. I've only been to Vegas once previously. I didn't get to Vegas until, God, I was 50. I only went to Vegas for the first time 3 years ago. So second trip coming up, Tears for Fears in 3 weeks. And I'm going to see The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. Ron, you got to look this up.
Oh, dude. I don't care what you go see at the Sphere. You could go watch anything and I'd be like, that sounds awesome.
It's the fucking Wizard of Oz, dude.
I actually have seen it on TikTok. I've seen it on TikTok. It looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing.
It looks crazy.
Especially, did you see the scene? Yes.
Yes.
Did you see the tornado scene?
The flying
Holy
monkeys.
Shit, dude.
They said that they've got like flying monkeys that are drones.
Nice.
That are flying around in there as well as the screen. So
yeah, you got to tweet something out from there.
That's a bonus. Yeah, I didn't even know that the Wizard of Oz Sphere thing existed at the time that I got the Tears for Fears tickets. So I'm pretty pumped up about it. All right, so with that said, Las Vegas, I can't not vote for Dr. J. So it's as simple as that. I'm voting for the good doctor today. So let's roll it. Let's light the candle and see who's advancing to the Why Not tournament. As this week's champion, the anticipation thick. And we've got a close one. Yes, we do. Dr. J leading Beverly Hills Cop by a scant 0.2% with almost 5,000 votes in already, guys.
Yeah, there's
We're going to
5,400
have to keep
now.
an eye on this one.
It's a little bit higher for Julius right now.
So he's opening up a little bit.
Yeah,
of
I mean, because
there.
I don't get to see the decimals on mine. So it's for me, it's showing 30-29, which means he's opened up a tiny lead. So
yeah, it's
all
not
right,
by much.
Well, there you go. There you go. I think Dr. J is going to win this, but we'll see.
I hope so.
We'll have to keep an eye on it.
Newest edition of the
it's
tournament.
within a percentage point, hard to say. Little bit of basketball here for you, and I'm just going to go through a couple of these things before we go to break, Jared. One is we've got a new NBA Hall of Fame class that's going to be inducted this weekend. The two biggest names on the list this year are Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard, who will be going in. Carmelo Anthony, obviously, and this is the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. Carmelo won a natty at Syracuse and obviously was an Olympian multiple times, even though he never won an NBA championship. Dwight Howard did get an NBA championship run, but it occurred in the bubble. So therefore, can we just pretty much discount it? Never won a real one, Dwight, unfortunately. And Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard are both going in as part of the 2008 USA Redeem team, who got the gold medal back for us after we suffered our first loss in 2004. Sue Bird, Maya Moore, longtime referee Dan Crawford, and the coach of the Chicago Bulls, Billy Donovan, are all going in as well. But you know what should go into the Hall of Fame? If I had the ability to induct something, I would induct Jim Boeheim's blazer, is what I would induct. Take a look at this and weep for the days when college basketball coaches knew how to dress. College basketball coaches and pro basketball coaches, for that matter, dressing like it's casual Friday is yet another pit stop in our cultural descent. Western civilization falling and college basketball coaches dressing like they do today, and NBA coaches for that matter. It's a blight on our society, Ron. Throw on a plaid blazer like you fucking care, is what I say. Jim Boeheim did, and that's why he's one of the greats of his profession. All right, my friends, it is now time for a break. I'm going to have to take a sip of lemonade from my Toby Keith Red Solo cup. We got a lot of good stuff left for you, however, so don't you go anywhere. And of course, I'll be asking Ronnie the question that I love to ask him. It'll all happen straight ahead right here, right after this, on The Ricky Cobb Show.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football. You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
OutKick's giving one lucky fan and a guest the VIP treatment.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit OutKick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. OutKick.com/sweepstakes.
Well, I told you guys at the top, this is the Friday episode of the Ricky Cobb Show today, and it's not Friday unless you're having rectangle pizza, motherfucker. Yeah, that's right. You know what I'm talking about. Some of us remember it was the best day of the week in the lunchroom. Look at that lunch lady. She knows what she's got there. She's holding a big platter of crack cocaine for hungry 15-year-olds. She's about ready to serve it up. Look at that, Ron. Tell me right now you don't want a slice of that.
Oh, I want 2 slices.
You're darn right. You going to eat that? Did you guys have that person at your high school? We had a guy who was the you going to eat that guy. His name was Greg. He'd walk around. You going to eat those tater tots?
Greg.
You going to eat the rest of that pizza?
Wait, so he'd eat pizza that you'd already bitten into?
He would eat anything, man. His standards were not high, Ron.
What's
If
Greg
it was
doing
on
these
your
days?
Plate, I don't know what he's doing. I'm Facebook friends with him. He's
Feels like he'd be the manager at a Golden Corral.
He's got one of those Facebook pages that's like husband and wife.
Oh, that's so
you know
soft.
those?
So soft. So
well,
soft.
I grew up with him. Greg. I'm not going to talk bad about you, but husband and wife Facebook pages are a little bit. They are. Well, I'll let Ronnie. I'll just sit here and nod like, yep. I'm not saying it, Greg, but everything that Ron just said is pretty much accurate.
Whatever she wants.
If you enjoy this kind of activity, my friends, this sort of content, head on over to YouTube and sign up for the Ricky Cobb Show channel. That's right. We've got our own channel on YouTube now. The Ricky Cobb Show. Easy to remember. If you are already signed up through OutKick, you're going to need to go and subscribe here separately, because this is where all the content goes now, and it's where it's going to be going as we move forward. And we've got, the past couple of weeks of shows, whatever it is now, since we've been doing this. But we're going to be filling the archives as we go forward with some of the best interviews, some of the highlights of the whole first year. We're going to be migrating some of the best of over to the Ricky Cobb Show channel. So when you get there, just be aware it's going to be getting bigger and better all the time in the coming weeks and months. So we sure would appreciate having you over there. We would love to have you be a part of this. Ronnie, with that said, we talked not too long ago about Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary being a part of I don't know if it was what would you call it? A conglomerate, a consortium? I don't know what the fucking word is, but he was a part of a bunch of people who spent almost $13 million for a one-of-one basketball card signed by Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Okay, a syndicate. Whatever the fuck it is. All right? Here's another one for you, Ron, and this is affordable compared to that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant dual autograph card. At auction, 8 packs of 1952 Topps. Okay, 1952 Topps is their first issue of what are baseball cards as we know them. Okay, in 1951, they released some stuff called Redbacks and Bluebacks, but they were small little cards. 52 is kind of the dawn of the real Topps era, and Mickey Mantle's card in that set is considered one of the holy grails of collecting. It's gone for over 12 million before. It was the one who had its record broken by the Jordan Kobe card. And in addition to that, Ron, even cards that are in bad shape, I have seen beat up 1952 Mickey Mantles that go for over $40,000.
Wow.
So that's how desired this is. This is 8 packs of 1952 Topps, unopened. And let's take a look here. Have a look at this auction. It escalates quickly, Ron.
8 original untouched packs of 1952 Topps baseball. I have 360,000. I need 380,000. 500 bid, 520,000. 600 bid, 620,000. 700,000, 700,000. 7 bid, 710. 710. 710 bid, 720. 720. Last call, 720,000, 720,000. Sold for 710,000 to buyer 414. Congratulations.
There you go, Ron. Any kid in America could have had those 8 packs for 40 cents in 1952.
So what we're doing here is we're kind of buying a lottery ticket, right, for $720,000, hoping that Mickey Mantle's in there. I would love to see a reveal. Like, I think I would love to see a reveal. And it would be also fascinating to see a reveal and then say what each card is worth to see how they did on their investment.
Yeah, I would leave them unopened if it were me, because I've seen packs from the 1950s get opened, and sometimes those cards are stuck to each other and they tear.
So you would just like want to put it in a crystal box and just have it sitting there on your mantle and just, hey, I have that.
Maybe. I mean, there's so few unopened things left that it's almost, to me, it's going to have. I saw a 1955 Bowman pack get opened not long ago on YouTube, and there wasn't a Hall of Famer in the pack, and basically every single one of the cards was damaged in some way because they had been bricked together for 70 years.
So you're thinking it's better to imagine and hope what's in there.
Yes, because there's a Mickey Mantle in there, maybe, until you open it up and find out that you just got a bunch of fucking regular guys.
Dust.
Anyway, that's my theory. But, Ron, when you're counting all the way to 710,000, you might need a calculator. So I don't know if the auctioneer had one of these on hand or not, but remember this guy, Ron, the little professor. There he is. Back in my day, there were always at least a couple of kids in the class that had a little professor.
It just
goes after your time.
It just goes to show how marketing and packaging is everything.
While I was,
dude, look,
doing this.
That's just a regular old calculator, and somebody was smart enough to brand it, and they probably sold a shit ton of those just because they were smart enough to brand it and give it a name, like genius.
It had great red lights at the top, if I recall correctly. It showed up. It almost looked like one of those Mattel handheld games, but stroke of genius. It's just a regular fucking calculator. Yeah. So anyway, Ron, well, look, we don't need a calculator for this segment because I know that there's going to be a couple coming my way, but I'm going to brace myself right now as I ask the question, what the fuck, Ron?
Today's stories aren't they're not crazy. A little bit feel good. Maybe not feel good because this just makes me feel bad about myself, Ricky. You know who Lil Jon is, right? Lil Jon and the East Side Boys.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yep. Atlanta rap, Dirty South, early 2000s. So Lil Jon is.
I'm all about that Dirty South.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't get enough.
Lil Jon's 54 these days. And instead of just, I don't know, getting some steps in like I do, like you do, Lil Jon has got into bodybuilding, and he just placed third in a 45-plus category of bodybuilding at the Beach Bodybuilding Championships down in Florida. Like, just makes me feel. Just makes me feel.
Okay. Which one is he?
White trunks.
No shit.
Yeah, I think we have a couple stills here. Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
I mean,
wow.
And we're sitting here talking about eating triangle pizza.
Bro, I never on my best day, when I was 21 years old, I was in no way going to ever.
That's what he looked like. That's what he looked back down during the early 2000s when he was getting crunk as can be.
I feel like if you really didn't give a fuck, you would just have a U on your shirt.
That's a really good point. That's a great point.
You know what I mean?
If you don't give a damn,
I feel like that indicates that I feel like there was some level of fuck given because you weren't willing to just
but he
wear that.
He was like a wise old sage back then because he basically said, if you don't want no shit, don't start no shit. I mean, words to live by.
It's good advice.
It's great advice.
It's good advice. He was on The Apprentice. I remember he was on The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got, Ryan?
So this one, Jared and I don't know if Jared wants to pop in here and yell preach with me, but I found this. It's the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology out in Rapid City, South Dakota. Their football field, Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium, has something super unique, Ricky, and it just feels good. It feels authentic. It just feels good. They have 350 spots available around the field where you can actually park your car and tailgate and watch the game while it's going on. And it just feels like good small town, just wholesomeness. It just feels right, dude. It just feels right. They encourage them to honk their horns and sound their alarms during the game. Like it's just one of these things that's an NAIA school. It's awesome. It's awesome, and I want to go.
Americana is what that is, Ron.
Yes.
South Dakota just doing things a little bit differently. It's like, do they think that it's still the 1980s there? Because 50s. I might like to go myself.
Yeah, I feel like the 50s.
This is crazy.
Oh,
I thought for a second that was the MLB Speedway Classic when I looked at it, Ron.
But yeah, I just wanted to.
I don't see the Braves and the Reds out there.
But let's it's a Friday. It's a Friday, big college football weekend. Let's just go into the college football weekend feeling good instead of feeling like, what the hell did Ron just tell us about?
Look at that. That's nice. No penises. No gigantic anaconda penises today either.
No droopy vulvas, nothing like that. I can now
exhale and I'll have to brace myself on Monday, but for now at least, I don't have to worry about it. All right, Ron, this being a Friday and with the NFL season now officially going, we've got 2 teams in the standings with records as we speak, and that will double after tonight. Heading into a full slate of games on Sunday, it can mean only one thing. It's time for our NFL picks, Ron, and I'm excited about it. We will remind people that we have a wager. This is the second year, of course, that we've done this. Last year, the wager was the loser had to drink a nasty IPA.
And I was
on the program, and I did win. I did win last year. I went 40, 30, and 2 last year.
Yeah, you would have made money if you would have bet $100 a game.
Yeah, that was a solid effort for me last year. But we pick 4 games a week against the spread, and then we will follow our records through the year. And this year's loser will have to purchase and wear on the show Angel Reese merchandise. So either a shirt, a hoodie, something. We'll have to do an entire episode wearing Angel Reese gear. So the stakes are higher than ever here in 2025. So Ronnie, let's go ahead and start with you. What are your picks here for week 1 NFL?
All right. I am going to go with the Colts because I just think that the Dolphins are just a dysfunctional bunch. And I do think Daniel Jones was picked for a reason. I know Richardson's not that good, but I think something good's going to happen here. Giants, no faith in Russell Wilson whatsoever. Washington coming off a great playoff run, so I'm going to go with them. Broncos, I mean, their defense is going to be ridiculous this year. Bo Nix's second season. Titans, wow. I mean, unless they did something different this year, they were not good last year. And then I got to go with the Bengals because I just feel like Joe Burrow knows he cannot get off to a bad start. Like he cannot. They have to win, and so I'm going with the Bengals.
All right, real quickly on your picks before we go to mine. Mike McDaniel's got to figure something out here. He was the prodigy. He was the guy that I was real high on him. This is a critical year for him in Miami. Critical. They need to win that game because I don't think the Colts are very good. You're right. The Dolphins are dysfunctional. The Dolphins need that one. If they lose to the Colts out of the gate, not a good indication for them. And look, I agree with you about Russell Wilson. Jackson Dart, the quote-unquote generational talent, according to Ryan Clark. Yeah. He's going to end up taking over sometime this year. I don't think Russell Wilson has a lot of tread left on the tire. Real quickly, Cam Ward on the road, first game ever in the NFL. That doesn't bode well for the Titans either. Armando was talking about the Broncos as a potential Super Bowl team. And I will make the segue to my picks by saying I also like the Bengals over the Browns laying 5.5 on the road. My other picks are the Buccaneers laying 1.5 on the road against the Falcons. The Patriots at home as 2.5-point favorites over Pete Carroll. And the Raiders, Mike Vrabel making his debut. There are a couple of coaches in new places making their debuts in that game. And then San Francisco on the road against Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. I think San Francisco can win that game by 2 points or more. So those are my picks. Ronnie, what do you think of mine here before we move on to poll replies?
I mean, man, especially if McCaffrey's healthy, like that is just that boost to that team if McCaffrey's healthy. Geno Smith, who knows what he's going to be able to do there. I'm not quite sure about that Patriots pick. And Buccaneers, I have just turned into such a Baker Mayfield fan. Like, I trust that dude. Like, I trust that dude now. And so I do like your Buccaneers pick.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to take all favorites.
I know. I did the same thing. So I did the same thing.
You know, yeah, it's a little tougher to take the points.
Week one is tough because you just don't know.
Yeah, week one is an opportunity, is what it is. All right, let's go to poll replies. See what folks are saying here on Championship Friday. We know we got a close one today. Julius Irving and Beverly Hills Cop, and look at this, still separated by less than a single percentage point. Right here, Nintendo Duck Hunt coming in a very respectable third place. Las Vegas just not quite on the level of the other three. I might have had a chance to go 25-25, Ronnie, if I had chosen a better wild card. Jim Kaiser, the poet laureate of Super 70 Sports, says championship games should all be like this one is. Tough competition. And Michael Johnson simply showing us Axel Foley, one of the great characters of 80s comedic film. Yacht Rock Playlist Consultant, one of our greatest living Americans, says, gotta go with the good doctor and his sweet Converse swag. And look at him maneuvering around the Whopper. Billy Paltz there, Ron. Remember I told you on this program, the reason that he was called the Whopper? He told my buddy Scott Tarter, well, you have to hold a Whopper with two hands. So,
two fingers for me.
Apparently he's a candidate for What the Fuck Ron next week, in case you're looking for any material, Ron. But I thank you today, as always. My thanks as well to Armando Salguero for dropping by and talking some NFL with me, to Molly and Colin in Nashville, to P.A. Jarrett and the finest wedding attendee in America this weekend. Of course, I speak of producer Tim, but most of all, I thank you, you sweet bastards. You are the reason that we're here. You're the reason that we do this. This is a show by the people, for the people. And you, my friends, are my people, and I love you. You can find us, as always, at Fox Nation, OutKick.com, and YouTube on the Ricky Cobb Show channel. Head over to YouTube and subscribe today, won't you? You can also find us in podcast form on Apple and Spotify, and our content is also available readily for you to consume on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, where I will be tweeting away throughout the weekend of college and professional football, and I hope that you will drop by and visit me. Otherwise, it gets a little bit lonely being the Super 70s guy, and most importantly, let's make a deal that we'll meet right back here on Monday when we will tee it high and let it fly with another episode of The Ricky Cobb Show.